It's John and JSD Arms. There's a lot of stupid laws, especially with certain firearms, like AK-47s. This is one of my pet peeves. I actually got a parts kit right up here. Let me grab it. You buy a parts kit. This one came in a bag. It's just a cheap $200-300 parts kit. AK-47 parts. These parts are all from Yugoslavia. Well, those Yugoslavian parts, there has to be a certain number of U.S. made parts. I believe it's 6 U.S. made parts on there. So you could take the same exact parts, but it says made in the U.S. You take the trigger group, all that stuff. You take the handguards off. They do all the same functions. They are all the same thing, except there's a little thing inscribed that says made in the U.S. There's no real safety issue. It's just all financial issue. And getting you to spend more money in the U.S. instead of the money getting overseas, which you're spending for the parts kit anyway to get. So why even replace parts that don't need replacing? They don't further any functions, and they don't make it any more dangerous than it already is. So that's another one. And the thing with AKs, they're so easy to screw up. There was this reporter on the internet doing a multimedia video on how easy it is to make AK-47 in California, which is one of the crappiest states for gun laws and way too strict. Well, with this, when saying this, he broke 3 federal laws. Discarding the firearm, he didn't do it properly while transferring it to the without a transfer. Without an FFL, he transferred it to the garbage facility, which he didn't cut it properly. Has to be cut into a certain thickness, has to be cut in a certain amount of parts. He didn't do that, he just did a one cut. Also, there was a retainer for the magazine. I believe it's called a magazine retainer. I'm not sure because I don't live in California, but I know there's some sort of magazine retainer which keeps your magazine in, and you need a certain tool to discard the magazine. And another thing was he was discharging the firearm in that condition. So that was his 3rd federal offense. All recorded on video, all published on the internet. This just shows you how stupid laws are. You could be a perfect law-abiding citizen and accidentally break one of these laws, 2 of these laws, 3 of those laws. He broke 3 by mistake, just trying to prove a point and just trying to do his job as a reporter. Now, with this, I'm a gunsmith, and I was about to build my AK build, and then I was told that I needed all these extra parts. With all different kinds of firearms, I know how strict the government is and how stupid laws are, so I call the ATF every time. I bug them all the time. I follow through, and I check on these laws. And that's what everybody has to do, because there's so many stupid laws. It is ridiculous. So I called them up and they told me this stuff. I asked them, with the Russian importation and stuff like that, and AKs being banned, I pretty much asked them straight up. I was like, you got this Yugoslavian parts kit, it's not from Russia. Is there anything I need to do to further make it legal? And they're like, well, the parts kit's illegal to assemble. And I'm like, well, I just bought one. Is that illegal? Like, no. It's perfectly legal to buy one, but you can't fully assemble it. So I was like, well, that don't make sense. So it's like a wall hanger. They're like, no. You can assemble it, but you can't assemble it because you need to replace 6 parts with American-made parts. Same parts, just American-made. I'm like, well, that's kind of stupid. And that's pretty much the answer that I got over a period of time. They didn't even know their own laws because they were so stupid with the laws. They were looking up the laws for me, trying to find it, talking to their supervisors, so on and so forth. And they couldn't even find this stuff out the first day. It took probably a whole week to find all the laws out, and they had to go in the book and actually look up all the laws for me. So then I finally got it confirmed. You need The American-made parts, I believe it's 6, and those need to be replaced. And it's just ridiculous. It's all about the money. Same thing with another federal law. It goes on. Same thing with another federal law. It rides on this. With the automatic weapons and grenade launchers, everybody's like, oh, you can't have automatic weapons. Oh, you have grenade launchers. You can. They're not safe. They're not safe at all unless you pay the government $200, and then they're safe. So you can buy M240 40mm grenade launcher, fully auto M60 machine gun, or Madus, whatever you want to buy, and all you have to do is pay the government $200 for their tax stamp and fill out a form. It's that simple. The form is on the ATF's website. Print it off, sign it out. $200 for a check, send it off. They send their crap back. You buy the firearm, transfer it to you, and then you can go Rambo style with it and have a blast. This is for anybody that is not a federal offender. But with this, you have to be registered, and obviously the paperwork is kind of doing that anyway because they know about it. So with this, I wouldn't say it's a dumb law to own them. I would say it's a dumb law to pay $200 to make them safe, or they say it's making them. It doesn't make them safe. It just, they're sticking your hand in the pocket, grabbing some more money out, grabbing money out. It's all financial stuff. Most of the laws I find is about financial gain, either through state or federal. They're trying to gain more money. So by saying that, oh, they don't need this, but we're going to charge them for it, is completely ridiculous. There's a lot of people that agree with me. There's a lot of people that disagree with me. I love doing rants because there's no script. I always say what's on my mind. I'm not gonna say that this is dumb or smart. I actually don't mind it because a lot of times I got my friends over and we have build parties and I show them how to build an AR-15. This is considered the firearm by the ATF. It's a receiver. This is an 80% receiver. It hasn't been milled out yet. This is for one of my buddies. They're going to come over and they're going to mill it out. I've just been waiting for them to come over. They haven't came over yet. It's actually been a while. I've held on to this. It's been like a year. They said they're going to come over. I've just been holding it. But pretty much, this has no serial number on it. It's non-traceable. Government don't know you have it. Only way they can probably trace this back to you is going to the places where you bought the parts from, barrel and so on and so forth, but that's probably not going to happen. They're not going to have a clue. So, is this really a dumb law? Yes and no. This will make it easier for felons to get the firearm, but you really think about it, are felons going to go about it doing it the legal way? Are criminals going to be doing it the legal way? No, they're going to go out, they're going to buy guns illegally, they're going to get guns no matter what. And with we make stricter gun laws banning stuff and banning certain things, I'm pretty sure that they will obey the laws because they've showed a whole history of obeying laws by being a felon. So with making these laws, it will help us. Yeah, right. It won't help us at all. It's stupid. It's stupid to make those laws because the only people that will be obeying them is law-abiding citizens, and that is it. Yeah. So the felons are going to have their dangerous machine guns and dangerous firearms and so on and so forth, even though they don't rate. When you mill it out and you do the work for it, it's yours permanently. It can't be anybody else's. You can't sell it. I think it's cool that they haven't got rid of that you can manufacture your own firearm without a license. So that was my rant for that. Another thing I want to rant about is there was a law, I believe it was a law in place. I'm not sure if it's state law, federal law, I'm not sure, but I know actually I think it was a Clinton, I believe there was a law, I think it was the Clinton gun ban, or The Clinton ban on certain features of weapons, I believe is Clinton. Correct me if I'm wrong. I may be wrong. But either way, there was a law that prevented barrel shrouds. All a barrel shroud is preventing your hand from getting burnt by the barrel. But since it has little holes in it and vents, it makes it look like it's all nasty, like a 30 cal machine gun, like back in World War II. Then they said, no, you can't have it. It's too scary.